Would you typically try to nail an engineered hardwood floor down, or would you prefer to glue it down? Pros and cons. I like a floor nailed, always. Jason, I think Jason would agree with me. Our rule is we always nail a floor if we can. If we can't nail it, we glue it. If we can't glue it, then we'll float it. Nailing is less expensive. A good glue is fairly expensive. It's a great investment, but it's expensive. Where nails are, we're talking about engineered, so you can use staples there. They don't cost much. They hold tight. Your floor's down. We don't have to worry about movement. Also, when we're gluing a floor down, if there's any low spots, the wood's not going to get into those low spots. So you might get a little bit of an abscess. Where with a nail, probably it's nailed down. It comes, it adheres to the floor a little bit better. What's the downside to nailing? It takes a little more tools. You got to have a nailer,
Right.
air compressor.
And the only time I might recommend gluing, if I was doing a 7-inch board.
Right.
7
7 inches wide.
7 inches wide board, you might consider gluing, just it's a little more stable.
But in all honesty, Jason, if you were doing that, would you ever consider, when we used to do pine floors, we'd run a bead of glue across it
Right.
before we nailed it. Would you ever do that with a wide board?
You can, but I'd either glue it solid or nail it solid. I know some people are doing both now on the real wide plank, just to keep from having troubles down the road.
Right. A little annoying, but it would work.
Yeah, because it's a lot easier for a 7-inch board to get a pop in it than it is a 3-inch.
Right. Another option, of course, is floating. And the only time that we like to float a floor is when there's a reason.
Right.
If you have some lows or highs that can't be fixed, and if you nail it down or glue it down, you have big abscesses, then we would float it.
Right.
If expansion is going to be an issue because of the moisture levels you can't control, then we would probably float it. But we're not big floating fans unless you need it.